So I have been working on a logo design concept this week. I have concepted it and I've brought it into the computer now. So I'm going to show you where I'm at with it. If you would have watched last week's episode, you would have seen me mind mapping and getting the generic brain junk out of my head. But I finally actually landed on a concept which I'm going to show you now. So you can see this is where I was doing my mind mapping, and I knew I wanted to include, one of the main keywords I wanted to include was partnership. How can I portray partnership? So linked. Now, this was all my generic brain junk, but then I started to land on something around about here. Something was happening here with this link, and then I started to develop it further and further until I liked this concept here. Something was happening here. I knew there was potential here. So I decided to jump straight into Illustrator with this concept. Now, ideally, when you're coming up with a logo design, you want to spend as much time on pencil and paper just to, because you've got no limitations, you're completely freehanding it, there's no boxes holding you in, there's no pixels and guides, limiting you. But I knew when I land on a concept, I always like to get into Illustrator to see where it can go, and if it doesn't work, I come back to pencil and paper. But I'll show you the concept now that I came up with. So I knew by forming these two links together, like it's a link cut off, it would form a H as well for Highstone, which is the brand. It's an architecture brand. And this link shows the partnership they have with other companies, which is their main line of work, is partnering with other building companies. So they pride themselves on partnership. So I really wanted to portray that in the logo. So you can see different developments here happening. And I also wanted to make sure it looked structurally 3D. So you can see I extruded the logo backwards and made it popping out, which portrays their forward thinking, which was another keyword I pulled from the brief. And then I was just developing it to see where it could go, having a little play about different ways we can, present the logo and things like that. But the main important thing is not to overcomplicate it, because fill it with unnecessary design decisions that you can't justify. You must be able to justify every design decision. But what I wasn't liking about this was this middle section here. It looks like an eye, and I couldn't unsee this eye. So what I did was I brought it down and got rid of the eye. But then I was thinking, something was missing, something's not quite right. And then I got on a call with one of my good friends, he's a designer, and he's just suggested, well, why don't you, instead of making it, circular and looped, make it into more of a link, like a house-shaped link. And I was like, yeah, I might do. I didn't really listen to it at the time. And then I went and developed it and tried it, and then I was like, boom, that's it. So you can see here now, I changed the shape so it looks a lot more modular, and it actually forms the roof of a house, which is perfect for this because it's an architectural urban design company. Now you might think it's a bit of a generic idea to put it into a roof, but if it works better than the original concept, it works better. And we've actually hidden it quite nicely. So you can see now, this is where we were going, and you can see how beautiful it starts to look. And then I was coming down here and I was trying all different things. Should I do a cutout here to make these lines come out? But I can't justify any of those design decisions. So I left them out and landed here. So this is the logo concept I've come up with, and I absolutely love it. So you can see we form the links, which is partnership. We've got the home for the home side of the brand. It's an architecture, urban design and homes brand. And we've extruded the logo back to make it look solid and structured. This business has been in business for 30 years. They're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing. So we wanted it to be planted. And then obviously you've got the iconic Highstone H there. So yeah, really happy with this concept. I think it's great. Like I say, I'm not getting too excited yet, because you never know before you present to a client, there's no point getting excited about your work because the client might not fit them. But that's where it's our job to sell this logo design through a presentation, through storytelling, and run the client through every design decision we make. So that's today's job, is making this logo presentation ready to present to the client. So yeah, I'll take you through it. Well, I've got to make it first. So.
Beginnings on the cusp, not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup, something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, moved G.
Okay, so it's a few days later, and today is the day that we are presenting that logo presentation. So I'll show you the presentation now, what I've done with it, and just gives you a little insight into
how it looks. So yeah, I'll show you it now. I've kept the design of this logo design presentation quite simple, so the logos can stand out and things like that, but I'll just run you through it quickly. I won't go too in depth. So we've got a contents page, we've got an introduction of the brand, we've got an objective, what we set out to do. We're asking who is it targeting. So we're building all these little reports up so when we reveal the logo design, it feels appropriate to what we're doing. We've got the brand values in here: integrity, authenticity, forward thinking, quality, customer experience. And then we're going to go into the design direction. We're looking at the competitor visuals that we found at the start. We're looking at the design direction that I went with, this sort of style of design, this modular, sort of angular, this type of uppercase sans serif typeface, quite modern, bold, even possible 3D elements here. We're looking into the logo attributes, so we're looking for something solid, structured, professional, innovative, modern, practical, and then we're going to go into the logo design and then the logo reveal. So the logo reveal is just going to go on one page like this, let it sink in a little bit, and then we're going to go into the logo mark. We're going to, a brief introduction, how do we represent Highstone in a logo mark? Well, we're most proud of our partnerships with other companies, so we visualize exactly that. Let's break it down. And then we're going down to the full breakdown here. So we've got partnership, we've got homes, we've got forward thinking, we've got H letter mark, and obviously we have a description of each there. And then we've got the design feel, and you're going to go into a bit more about how it was constructed, its angular lines, its interlocking geometric shapes, and why it's good for Highstone. And then we're going to show how it works in black and how it works in white. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the logo type, why that logo type was chosen, why it matches the mark. And then we're going to talk about this graphic device, how it shares the same sort of hexagonal shape, mirroring the sort of sharp points in the logo mark here. So how all these three tie together and they look married. And then we're going to go into the logo lockups, the stacked, the horizontal, the logo mark, talk about which ones these are best for. Then we're going to show the different sectors of the brand, how it's all separated in colour and how it's all unique to each sector of the brand. They're not the final colours, by the way. And then we're going to show the logo in place. So we're just going to show a few mock-ups here of how that logo works on, relatable mock-ups for the brand. We've got a Highstone Group like land and access book. We've got business cards here. We've got it on the side of a container. We've got it on the side of a work van. We've got it on t-shirts. See, we're not doing too many mock-ups here, and then I'm just showing them the original sketch. That it's always nice to show that, and then feedback and thoughts. Now this is just a logo design presentation, so that might even be too much, but I just got a bit carried away. But you just want to get that logo mark signed off, and of course, if you do a one concept method like I do, you do have to break it down and sell the logo design and all the rationales behind it. Now I know other people who do 3 logo concept presentations or 5 logo concept presentations. I do 1 logo concept presentation because I believe that there's one logo that, done really, really well, nails the brief and is a solution to the brand's current problems or, pain points or whatever. So instead of me coming up with 3 logo marks, I'll come up with 1 really good one and present it. And if there's any pushback, I typically sometimes have a few other concepts in the bank, which I can then present. Also, when you're presenting a logo design, there's no point presenting something you don't feel that's confident, because the client can sense that. You want to be fully confident in the design you're presenting, it backed up, full of reasoning, justifying every design decision. So yeah, we're going to get on a call in a minute and present it to them. I'm presenting it to 3 people, so a little bit nervous, but who wouldn't be? But yeah, super excited for this one. So you're going to see the whole thing.
Globetrotter, so shocker. I keep it in the chrome locker. Don't rock up. I counter it with no.
Thank you all for hopping on and getting to a date where we can all be on for this. So like I say, you don't have to leave any feedback on this call today, because I know it's something that can sink in. The group prides itself on being available, responsive, and attuned to its audience's needs. So who are we targeting? Well, we're targeting logo design must be attractive to PLC house builders. Now the brand values of integrity, authenticity, then you've got JRP, you've got Marins. So the design direction I sort of went down. This logo, we want it to look solid, we want it to look structured, professional, innovative. So I'm going to reveal the logo design to you now.
How do we represent Highstone in a logo mark? How do we represent partnership better than two strong links holding each other up? And then we can see in the logo mark, we also have a home. You can see how when you create your land and access books or anything like that, you can see how the logo can be blown up and it works as a really nice graphic. And you can see how it works overlaid in the background there too. It works in small print, big print. And that's it. I'll send this over to you for your review, and it takes some time to sink in and have a little read through it properly and things like that. So take some time to have a little look through it, and then get back to me with feedback whenever you need.
I think it looks good. I like it.
Whew.
Okay. So yeah, presented that logo as you've seen. Like I say, with a logo like that, you know, you've got to let it sink in. They can't give you a reaction on the call or give any feedback there, because it's one of them, like I'm going through the slides, it's something you have to let it sink in. You know, us as designers, got to remember we've been designing a mark for weeks, so we know exactly what all the meaning is behind it, what it looks like. We've really let it settle in. You know, it's the first time for them seeing it on call, so I've sent the presentation over, let them look over it and give them some time, and then any feedback is absolutely welcome. So yeah, brilliant. So I've actually got a discovery call in about an hour or so with a potential client. As said, he'll be honest, he's reaching out to a few designers to see what's the best fit for him, and that's what I recommend to clients, is to, you know, have calls with multiple designers to see, you know, who fits best for them, because, you know, you better doing your shopping around and stuff. So I'm gonna just write down a few questions that are related to his project and a bit about him. I don't ask loads of questions on a discovery call. I just like to see if you know, we're a right fit. I just see a bit about them, find out a bit more about them, how long they've been in business, why they think about doing this now, the sort of goals for the project. I don't go too in depth, because after I send a project proposal and things like that, I send also a client questionnaire after that, which goes into more detail. But yeah, I like to have a little friendly chit chat with them, and see what the black and white of it is really, and see if we're going to be a good fit. So yeah, I'll just write down a few questions and yeah, get on a call.
Hey, Carl.
Frankie, what's going on, man? How are you? Looks like you just got back from a run. You're getting ready for a run. Looks like one of the two.
Well, I actually have just got back from a run, yeah. So I've been looking at the website, I've been looking at your socials, and I absolutely love it.
Even the concept of the business. We have, or had, I should say, one of our uncles.
I love it when somebody can make a business, especially off the back of someone that's so special to them, you know.
In exchange for bringing the bottle back to us.
Oh, that's cool. It's not working. It's called a logo suite, is what you're looking for. It's different logo, different variations of your core logo fit in certain places better, and especially with the ever-growing digital world. Absolutely. So what is it you actually what is it that you think is about your current logo, your current branding, that I wouldn't say dislike, but what is it that's not working? I love the info. It's great that you thing is, I think you know what you want, and I think it's one of them where you really need help. When you try and brand your own thing, it's even like designers say this all the time, when we try and make logos for ourselves, when we're trying to brand our own thing, it's the hardest job in the world. Kind of the same way if you cook yourself, it never tastes as good as if someone cooks for you. You know? Yeah. If we were to work together on this, what say at the very end, what are your goals? What is a successful outcome out of this project?
So I think that's honestly number one.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely number one. Are some of these logos better for social media? Some of them have better application for the packaging.
So custom logo type is definitely something that's would be the direction. Visual identity, which includes different variations of it.
Dude, man, who you telling?
Kyle, I'll tell you how my process, if we were to work together, I'll tell you how it might look. So I have pretty much a 5-step process. When the payment's made, I'll send all your files and every file you ever need, and that's about it, Cal. That's typical.
Yeah, I think you answered all the questions that I was going to have.
Cal, one of my biggest values is, after the design work is done, I want to remain in contact and build a solid long-form relationship with my clients and see how their business... Typically, this type of project would take me around 8 weeks. But like I say, I'll include an exact timeline in the proposal, Kyle. And yeah, you'll have everything over there. But is there any questions, anything else? Anything else you can't think of or I've not quite covered?
Man, I think we covered a lot.
What a guy he was. That was amazing to hear his story, the background of the business. He's a runner. So me and him just connected instantly, talking about running and starting businesses and processes and all the juicy stuff behind the scenes. Really resonated with me and connected with him. So yeah, I'm going to send over a proposal. And yeah, I want to work with him. I want to work on this business because I just want to help. When I work with clients, they're he's got an amazing business and the reason he started it. But it's when you realise is dream clients aren't the biggest brands in the world. You know, a product or a niche or something you want to work on. It's the person that you work with. That's your dream client. If you connect, it's the person who runs the business. If you connect with them, it sometimes doesn't matter what the business is. But yeah, I'm going to send over a proposal. Not now. It's late now. I'm going to switch off. I'm going to get that proposal over to him tomorrow morning. But yeah, what have we got?
On the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks.
So it's the next day now, and we're going to send that proposal over to the client. So I'm going to show you exactly the proposal I send, and it'll give you a little insight into sort of how a good proposal should look. I also have a full video on how to make this exact proposal here. Like I say, I'm not going to go into full depth here because obviously I've got the full video, but I'll just quickly show you over it. So this is the project proposal I'm going to send him. So it's project proposal, it's got a bit about me, it's got a case study here, it's got a testimonial from that work, it's got the why work with me section. Now it's got the project goals, so here we're going to write down the goals. I actually need to delete this one. So we're going to use these 5 goals now. So when he reads this, he's like, he's listened. You know, he's listened to me, it makes me feel valued, and he's reading over this thinking, yeah, that's exactly what I need, yeah, that's my goal, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then we've got the scope of work here. So I'm just leaving the costing out for now because it's kind of confidential with the client. So I'm actually sending him 2 proposals, one proposal, and then the second proposal, which is the same, but with an extended timeline. As you can see here, from 9 weeks to 12 weeks. So there's going to be a slightly different cost in here because of things we discussed on call. And then we've got the investment, how much it's going to cost him in the 50% deposit up front, 50% deposit at the end of of our work together, another case study, another testimonial, and then a thank you, a little personalised message to go over what we talked about. And yeah, it's just a nice little way to end the proposal. Yeah, so this is actually my project proposal template. I actually have this on my website if you want it. It's available for Adobe Illustrator. It's a winning proposal. This is how I land all my clients with this proposal. So yeah, I'm going to send that over to him now, and I'd absolutely love to work with him because he's a great guy and his business resonates with me, his values. So yeah, fingers crossed. So yeah, if you want that template, it's on my website. Use the code YouTube10 and you're getting 10% off the proposal template. But I'm going to leave it there for this week. I hope you can take something from it. Two live calls in there, so pretty juicy. I just want to thank you so much for the support recently on the last video, and the channel's growth in the past week has been crazy. So yeah, I'll see you next week.